Hi class, in this particular assignment, the flashcards assignment, what you're doing is adding elements dynamically to the HTML. For example, here this little demo does pretty much the same thing in a simplified form. We have a button and then we just have an empty container here. But when I press the button, it adds more elements. And these elements then also actually already have attributes in them. I can click on them, and when I click on them, they actually disappear. So this is all accomplished with JavaScript and actually a little CSS. But let me just run through this real quickly, show you how it's done. So to simplify things, let me just comment out everything that we don't need right away. And it's just basically 3 lines. We have this add element function that's being called every time we add an element. And what that is doing is we're using the document create element method of the document object to create a div, okay? And then we can set the attributes of that div, and here we're setting the class to box, and then box gives the element a bunch of styling, basically. You know, it gives it a border, a width, a height, a margin. And then at this last line, what we do is we append the box that we just created to the container right here. That's all we're really doing. So with these 3 lines of code, when I add an element, we get elements, and they get added to the container, and we can just add as many as we want dynamically. Notice that nothing's happening here when I roll over them, like in the beginning of the video, right? When I rolled over them, they were turning different colors. So we can make that happen by, for example, adding this line. And now when we roll over, it'll make it red. And so what this is doing is we're adding an onMouseOver attribute to the element, which calls the makeRed function, and we have the makeRed function over here, and it just changes it to red. Notice when I go out of it, nothing happens. So if we add the onMouseOut attribute, now when we create an element and then roll over it and roll out of it, it turns red. It turns, well, what's it do? It turns back to blue when we leave it. And then finally, I've added this other function, this other attribute, erase. Looks like I don't need this one. Let's get rid of it. I don't think we need that. So I've added this erase one so that when I click on the element, it erases it. So what it's doing is it's clicking it and it's calling the erase function, and then we're just you know, changing the visibility to hidden here. So that's pretty much how it's working. And in the assignment, you're basically leveraging these same sorts of JavaScript functionality to dynamically create photographs, and then to add these attributes to the photographs, to call different methods so that you can make it function and behave the way it does in the video. And of course, one other thing you're going to also need to do is, here I'm just adding the elements by clicking a button multiple times. Well, you actually have to do the same something slightly differently, is that I provide you with an array of objects, and so you have to iterate over the array of objects, and for each object add the attributes of those objects, or look at the attributes of those objects, and then create the element that's described by those objects. All right, well, good luck. Thanks for watching.